PR Connections Radio presents.
Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here on PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media. I'm your host, Ian Rachiele, and we have a really good show planned for you tonight as we're going to be breaking down the upcoming game that just happened recently, as you'll have your Vegas Golden Knights taking on the Los Angeles Kings. And what a great game it was, and the fact that it is the last game of the year is a treat to talk about here on Vegas Hockey Hub. Now, I am doing this from a remote location, so unfortunately, I am not able to have my camera on. And we are going to be actually traveling to Seattle very soon. We will be at the Winter Classic, so that will be a fun event to talk about and break down. But yeah, unfortunately, I have no video today. It is just going to be audio only as we are recapping the Vegas Golden Knights and LA Kings game. Now, go to PRConnectionsRadio.com. Check out all of the amazing content we have on the network. There are a bunch of amazing people who are hosting shows on PR Connections Radio. So I highly recommend to everyone watching all around the world to check out PRConnectionsRadio.com. Not only do you have Vegas Hockey Hub, but you have amazing content like Crypto and Cash, Love of Business, Cozy Stone. We have the power. There is so much good content on PRConnectionsRadio.com. So I will say once again, go to PRConnectionsRadio.com, the voice of new media, and check out all of the content they have in store there. So once again, PRConnectionsRadio.com. Also go to our social media pages. If you go to the YouTube channel for PR Connections Radio and subscribe to the network so you not miss any content that they post on there. We upload every single show, every single channel that goes onto the network is uploaded every single day to PRConnectionsRadio.com. So I highly recommend going to the YouTube channel and subscribing to PR Connections Radio at PR Connections. Once again, Vegas Hockey Hub uploads Monday to Friday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. So go to the YouTube channel and subscribe as they have a lot of amazing content. PR Connections Radio also has a Facebook page, an Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We are everywhere at PRConnectionsRadio.com. So subscribe and follow and support all the amazing content on PR Connections Radio. And if you want to help out Vegas Hockey Hub, as we are on all social media platforms, we have our YouTube channel where we post Vegas Hockey Hub shorts. We also have the content that we're posting right here, right now, as we do on our YouTube channel. We try to upload every single day to the YouTube channel. So go to @Vegas Hockey Hub on YouTube. Go to Facebook. As on our Facebook page, we try to interact and engage with everyone watching and all of our listeners and people who are supporting PR Connections Radio and Vegas Hockey Hub. So we are on Facebook @Vegas Hockey Hub. We are on Instagram where we upload footage and highlights from events that we are going to as part of Vegas Hockey Hub. So @Vegas Hockey Hub on Instagram. And on Twitter, we are on there @Vegas Hockey Hub. We do live tweets where we live tweet every single Golden Knights game, and we interact with everyone watching around the world. We are also on TikTok as well. And then lastly, if you want to support your host, I am on social media as well. So go to Ian Rachiele 18. I am on all major social media platforms as well. I have my own YouTube channel. I have my Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I got my own stuff as well. So Ian Rachiele 18. And if you want to support my content as well, as I try to upload articles and a bunch of content onto my platform as well. So go to Ian Rachiele 18 if you want to follow me and what I'm doing on my platform as well. And speaking of, I just want to mention this very quickly before we get into the game itself. Once again, we are going to be going to Seattle. In fact, I have my bags packed. I'll be ready to go tomorrow. I will be heading to Seattle for the Winter Classic. We'll be trying to upload our content here to the show, and that will be amazing. So we'll be doing our recap show for Seattle coming soon. Now, getting into the actual game, the Golden Knights and Kings recap. So for the pregame notes, Logan Thompson is in net for this game. And Logan Thompson has really been a workhorse for your Vegas Golden Knights. Now, we know that he had a minor injury a few days ago. He is still part of the Golden Knights organization. He is healthy. He is in net right now for your Vegas Golden Knights as they're taking on the LA Kings. And this is going to be an interesting game because, once again, this is not only the last game of 2023, but this is the last home game in 2023. So for your Golden Knights, there's going to be a 4-game homestand because technically Seattle, it is a neutral site. But you essentially are going to have a 4-game stint where you have LA, Florida, and New York, where you are going to be the designated home team. And with your Vegas Golden Knights right now, having the record that they do, they are in a weird limbo where they've lost the last 4 games. They have a bit of a skid right now, but for Logan Thompson, a guy who has not had the best of luck as of recent, outside of the Ottawa win, he lost against Buffalo, lost against Carolina, and Anaheim. So when it comes to Logan Thompson, a little bit of a skid there, but overall, Logan Thompson, I don't blame him for a lot of the losses that are happening. There's just certain things that are out of his control. But for Logan Thompson, him being in net tonight for your Vegas Golden Knights as they take on the LA Kings. And it's going to be really important to talk about the fact that when it comes to the LA Kings organization, who they have in net opposite of Logan Thompson. So in the opposite net for the Los Angeles Kings alongside Logan Thompson, you have 4. Now, Cam Talbot, up to this, has done an amazing job this season for the LA Kings. Some people say that he might be an all-star. I'm not going to go that far. But for Cam Talbot, he has been doing a really solid job as a LA Kings goaltender this season. So that's going to be in the opposing net is Cam Talbot. And for your Vegas Golden Knights is Logan Thompson. So a good back-and-forth matchup. 2 really solid goalies on that part. And, you know, a lot of people don't like to bring up stats, but I will. When it comes to Cam Talbot, it's really interesting the fact that in 22 games this year, he has 14, 6, and 2, and has an amazing goals against average of 2.06 with a 92.5 save percentage. So for a guy like Cam Talbot, he's doing pretty solid in LA as they are 28-4 on the year. But Logan Thompson has not done bad either. Like I said, there's been a few losses that didn't go his way. But overall, for Logan Thompson, he has done a stand-up job. He has done relatively a very good job as a goaltender for Vegas. And considering the injuries that have happened to Aiden Hill, considering the Yuri Patera situation and what happened there the last couple of games where he lost back-to-back, Logan Thompson has done, relatively speaking, a good job for Vegas. So Logan Thompson being in net tonight for the Vegas Golden Knights, taking on the Los Angeles Kings, who had Cam Talbot in net. And before we break down the actual game, I do want to mention something. When it comes to the defensemen, so you have Martinez and Pietrangelo, that's expected. You have Haig and you have Whitecloud, that is expected. But I have to give credit to Ben Hutton real quick. Ben Hutton has done a really solid job since the Shea Theodore injury that happened in the end of November. Like, for a solid month now, Ben Hutton has been one of the best players that the Vegas Golden Knights have had defensively. He does a lot of block shots alongside Martinez, alongside McNabb. But when it comes to Ben Hutton, he is somebody I look at and go, you know what? He has a really good situation in Vegas. And the only reason I'm mentioning this is because a little bit of foreshadowing for what we're going to talk about later. But yeah, Ben Hutton has relatively done a really solid job for your Vegas Golden Knights since the injury of Shea Theodore has put him in the starting lineup. So once again, Haig and Whitecloud, Hutton and McNabb, Martinez and Pietrangelo. It's similar to the forward lines, by the way, because on the forward lines, you have a situation where you end up having, like, for example, you have a forward lines where you have, Michael Amadio, you have Ivan Barbashev, Paul Cotter. There's some good stuff going on there. We'll talk about Amadio later on. But the main line of Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, you have Jonathan Marchessault there, Ivan Barbashev, he's doing what he's doing. But yeah, the first forward line for Vegas being Barbashev, Eichel, and Marchessault. Then you have that second line of Stone, Stevenson, and Dorofeev, who's doing a really solid job on the top six. Then you have William Karlsson, who's on that line with Paul Cotter and with Michael Amadio. Then you have Brett Howden, Keegan Kolesar, and Nick Waugh as your forward line. So really solid job by Vegas doing what they're doing here. So like I said, forward lines, defensive lines, then your goaltender with Logan Thompson. Now, there are people who are talking about the William Carrier situation, because obviously William Carrier is not on the fourth line. Brett Howden is now on the fourth line with Kolesar and with Waugh. It's going to be interesting to see if William Carrier does come back soon. We know that he did suffer injury recently. But yeah, on that fourth line, you have Brett Howden now with Nick Waugh and with Keegan Kolesar. Sorry about that. Now, getting into the actual game itself as the Vegas Golden Knights took on the LA. And breaking down everything that happened in this game between LA on the last game of 2023 for your Vegas Golden Knights. So getting into the actual game itself, the first couple of minutes of the first period, there was a couple of chances where each team could have gotten the puck in the back of the net, but overall, a very clean game. This is something that I'm going to be mentioning much later on in the show, but the fact that there was only 2 penalties in the entire game is impressive, considering the divisional rivalry, considering how physical LA can be at times, considering how physical Vegas can be at times. It's actually interesting how they only had 2 penalties in the entire game, and it was a penaliless first period for your Vegas Golden Knights. But yeah, the first couple of minutes of this game, there was not a lot of opportunities in terms of getting the puck in the back of the net that this did not execute. Now, I will say with your Vegas Golden Knights, they would capitalize at the 7-minute mark in the first period, as one of the best players in all of hockey, a guy who's a top 10 player, in my opinion, Jack Eichel, with his 16th goal of the season, assisted by Mark Stone and Ivan Barbashev to make it a 1-0 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel, really solid play here. I like the setup by Mark Stone. Ivan Barbashev doing what he's doing right now. I like how Ivan Barbashev is turning his season around. Because it's no secret that in October and the beginning of November, there was a lot of question marks about Ivan Barbashev. It just seemed like he wasn't clicking on the first line. There was a lot of questions about would he be sent down to the second line, would they have to make some changes. But Jack Eichel and Mark Stone are doing a really solid job. They are by far the 2 best players on the Golden Knights right now. Ivan Barbashev doing a solid job on that first line. I like to see the production there. So Jack Eichel was 7 minutes in the first period, scoring with that goal. And, Jack Eichel is a sniper. He is somebody who puts the puck in the back of the net. That's his job. We all know that. But what I appreciate about Jack Eichel and what I like about Jack Eichel is the fact that he makes his line mates better. Jack Eichel makes his team better. Just like Mark Stone, when he came to Vegas, made his line mates better, made the team better. That's what I appreciate about Jack Eichel and Mark Stone, is that you can tell when Eichel and Stone are on the ice, they make that team better. And it's just something that you really notice about the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, just the fact that Jack Eichel and Mark Stone have really done a solid job this year with your Vegas Golden Knights. Have to give a lot of appreciation for what they have done with the Vegas Golden Knights. Now, getting into the rest of the first period, there was not much action that happened in this first period, as there actually was no goals scored by Vegas, no goals scored by LA, but more importantly, something I have to mention is the fact that when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights and LA Kings game, especially in that first period, there was a lot of beating and banging. There was a lot of, going back and forth, pushing him into the boards, pushing him into the boards. That's what a lot of these things we're talking about here. But what I appreciate about it, though, is the fact that when it comes to this game, you saw the Vegas Golden Knights for really one of the first times all year playing 60 whole minutes of hockey. This was a Vegas Golden Knights team that did a really solid job at executing when they had to, limiting their mistakes that they had to on offense, and limiting the turnovers. So, when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights organization, I can appreciate what they did in the first period, and they would be up 1-0 after the end of the first period, as your Vegas Golden Knights would hold that lead 1-0 over the LA Kings after first period. And it was really interesting to see with the Vegas Golden Knights and the LA Kings game that when it comes to that first period, Vegas did what they had to do. And I like the fact that when it came to the Vegas Golden Knights organization, they kept in control during that first period. Logan Thompson did a fantastic job in net for Vegas. And really solid job by Vegas overall. First period, really solid work at T-Mobile by Vegas. Now, getting into second period, with 2 minutes into the second period, you would have a bunch of former LA Kings that would actually help out the Vegas Golden Knights here, as Michael Amadio, with his 6th goal of the season, assisted by former LA King defenseman Brayden McNabb and by Pavel Dorofeev to be a 2-0 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Really solid job by Brayden McNabb to set up this play here. And Michael Amadio, very underrated, solid middle six forward for the Vegas Golden Knights. Ever since he came over on waivers from Toronto all those years ago, he has been a solid addition to the Golden Knights middle six. He has been clutch in key moments like he was in the playoffs or this past postseason. And Michael Amadio, he's not flashy, but he gets the job done. And I do appreciate that. So Michael Amadio with his 6th goal of the season in the second period. So while your Vegas Golden Knights are up 2-0 over the Los Angeles Kings, there would actually be one of the only 2 penalties in the game that would happen, as Jonathan Marchessault would have a roughing penalty against Pierre-Luc Dubois, and the LA Kings would not get a power play goal in this situation. It would be burnt off by Vegas, but Jonathan Marchessault did receive a penalty in this game, a roughing penalty against Dubois. Now, about 10 minutes later, from the Michael Amadio play, there would be the first goal by the LA Kings, as in the second period, with about 7 minutes left, Anze Kopitar with his 14th goal of the season, assisted by Adrian Kemp and Vladislav Gravkill. The Vegas Golden Knights would actually be up by 1 goal now. Now, when it comes to Anze Kopitar, this is a guy who has been a mainstay with the LA Kings. He's been there forever. He won his 2 cups with them. Former teammate of guys like Alec Martinez, just for example. But when it comes to Anze Kopitar, this is a guy who, he's a defensive 2-way type of guy. He is someone who's a leader in the locker room for LA. And I can appreciate what Kopitar has done. Not only with him being a McLaren fan, by the way, which me being a Formula One guy, that's always gotten a little bit of a kick out of it. But more importantly, I can appreciate his game. His game is not going to be flashy to most casual hockey fans. But if you're a diehard hockey fan, or more importantly, you're a defensive-minded hockey fan, you will appreciate Anze Kopitar. So really solid goal right there. Vegas Golden Knights were up 2-1 in the second period. But 1 minute later in the game, William Karlsson, Wild Bill, would make it a 3-1 game for your Vegas Golden Knights. As about 6 minutes left in the second period, William Karlsson with his 15th goal of the season, assisted by Alex Pietrangelo and Paul Cotter, to make it a 3-1 game. And, I will say when it comes to William Karlsson, he has really turned it around. No doubt about it, William Karlsson has done an amazing job. Has done a fantastic job the past 2 years. He had a little bit of a struggle. He was struggling for a little bit after he first got that contract extension. But he has really kicked it in high gear this season with 15 goals in the first half of the season. William Karlsson doing an amazing job for Vegas. So, yeah, Vegas Golden Knights 3, LA Kings 1 after the second period. So, second period would be done with the Golden Knights and Kings game, and the Vegas Golden Knights be up by 2 goals in this situation. And the Vegas Golden Knights would be up 3-1 after the second period. And Logan Thompson, once again, doing a really solid job in this game. And he's not going to get too much credit, but I'm going to give it to him anyway. He has done a really stand-up job as your goaltender, filling in for Aiden Hill since he got hurt. And this is one of those games where you really have seen what Logan Thompson can be as your goalie for the Vegas Golden Knights. So after the second period, Vegas Golden Knights up 3-1 thanks to goals from Amadio and Karlsson in the second period. And then there was the one goal by Kopitar by the LA Kings. That was their only goal in the second period. Now, the whole third period would be a kind of a quiet moment for the Vegas Golden Knights. So outside of a tripping penalty by Brett Howden with Vegas, that'd be the only penalty in the third period. The Vegas Golden Knights would not score at all in the third period, but the LA Kings would. With about 2 minutes left in the game, Trevor Moore with his 17th goal of the season, assisted by Anze Kopitar and Carl Grundstrom, to make it a 3-2 game for the Vegas Golden Knights. Trevor Moore doing a solid job for the LA Kings, kind of an underrated guy in LA. But Vegas Golden Knights doing a really solid job. The entire period, like I said, they went, a whole 18 minutes without letting up a single goal. And they were up by 1. And then with 2 minutes left, the LA Kings, they do what they always do. You do what you always do in hockey. They're trying to rush down the rink, trying to score that goal with 2 minutes left in the game. They would not prevail, and your Vegas Golden Knights would pick up the win against the Los Angeles Kings. Really, really solid victory by Vegas. And at this point, it's actually a really solid send-off for Vegas, considering they've lost the last couple of games. So the last game of 2023, your Vegas Golden Knights pick up the victory and would beat the LA Kings 3-2 at T-Mobile Arena. Really solid job, and I appreciate what they have done with your Vegas Golden Knights. They've done a really solid game against LA here. So Vegas Golden Knights pick up the victory once again, 3-2 over the Los Angeles Kings. I appreciate what they've done here. And with them being, on a winning streak to end 2023, hopefully 2024 will be much better for Vegas. Player of the game has to go to Jack Eichel, not only because of the way he started out the game with that really good goal in the first period, but throughout the entire game, every shift he was on the ice, he was noticeable. Every shift, he was making some noise offensively or defensively with the tempo, everything that he was putting on the ice right there. So Jack Eichel, player of the game for your Vegas Golden Knights. And once again, I just really like what he did against LA. He was a standout. He was someone you noticed throughout the entire game. So your player of the game for the LA Kings would be Anze Kopitar, but player of the game for your Vegas Golden Knights would be Jack Eichel. So Jack Eichel, player of the game, something that we have done a lot this season. I mean, there's a reason why he's probably going to be an all-star when they reveal that next week. But Jack Eichel, player of the game for your Vegas Golden Knights. Now, post-game, I said that there's going to be some foreshadowing early on. Here's why. So Ben Hutton, with early in the first period, would be out with a upper body injury. Unfortunately, he had a hand situation, so we're not going to speculate that. So we're not going to speculate at this time. But Ben Hutton went down the tunnel, was kind of holding his wrist, hand area. That's where he was holding it. So with Ben Hutton, he's going to be out for a while. He'll be out with the upper body injury, and hopefully he comes back soon. But definitely a crushing blow to the Vegas Golden Knights defensively. Now, I could see Kaden Korzak or Braden Bahal maybe coming back and being in a starting lineup now with Ben Hutton being out. But really crushing there, Ben Hutton out with an upper body injury for your Vegas Golden Knights. So once again, Ben Hutton out with an upper body injury. And your Vegas Golden Knights back on the winning streak here. As I said, they beat the LA Kings after losing their last 3 games. Lost to Carolina, lost to Florida, lost to Anaheim. Back on the winning streak to end the season for 2023. And I really appreciate what Vegas has done here. I like what Vegas is doing. And I really see how the Vegas Golden Knights are contributing with this situation. So I'll say when it comes to the Vegas Golden Knights, this is going to be a really interesting 2024. The first month of January has a lot of tough opponents they have to go up against. But yeah, back on the winning streak to end the year. What a great way to end 2023 as your Vegas Golden Knights pick up the victory here. And like I mentioned before, your Vegas Golden Knights are 22-10-5 on the year. So when you really stop and analyze it, 22-15, or as some people want to put it, you went 27-10 because those five losses did account for points. So when you score you score points in 27 of 37 games. That's really solid by Vegas. And I will say, when it comes to your Vegas Golden Knights, I really hope that for the remainder of this season, because 37 games in, it's an 82-game season. So with us having about 45 games left in the year, hopefully this will be a situation where I look at it and go, your Vegas Golden Knights, they have some opportunities they can capitalize on, and hopefully this will be a good end of the year for your Vegas Golden Knights. So this was our recap here on Vegas Hockey Hub. And until next time, I'm your host, Ian Rachiele. Continue watching hockey, go support junior hockey, and go Knights, go.